Bonjour everyone, welcome to another diecast showcase. So today we're going to be checking out my recent finds for the last, I'd say couple weeks. It's been pretty dry up here in Montreal area in Canada. But still managed to find a couple cool things. The local Toys R Us has not been very fruitful for the most part, simply due to the fact that they're partnering with a going kind of like a new venture, from what the manager told me, towards partnering with a music store that is pretty much almost obsolete at this point, since nobody really buys records or CDs or anything DVD or like hard copy of any type of visual or audio media. So they're partnering with Toys R Us and kind of like blending in the collector side of like vinyls and things like that. And obviously they are clearing out a huge portion of the store, which means they are reconfiguring the floor plan layout, and they are kind of cutting off regular drops of new stuff for the most part until pretty much I'd say mid to late February. So I did take a chance and drop by slightly prior to the said new setup and whatnot, where the actual shipments will be resuming their way towards the floor and the pegs. Did manage to pick up a couple of Hot Wheels premiums that are new. They've been out for a while in most places, but hey, at least I managed to pick them up. So we are talking about the most recent modern classic wave. So obviously, to no surprise to anyone, I guess, out of this wave that you can see right here, well, top left, Honda Civic EG, nowhere to be found. No chase of the Altezza either, but I managed to pick up all four of the other ones, so that's pretty cool, because the first time I saw this wave at my local Walmart, unfortunately, besides half a dozen Fiats, there was nothing else. So now we have all four other culprits, starting with the Altezza. So everybody's seen this before. I won't go into the lack of door handles, because that's already been expressed even before this wave hit the stores. So very nice detailing and overall proportions on the get-go. The infamous Altezza rear lights, which, well, if you grew up in the Fast and Furious era, or slightly before, yeah, these were on everything. So not too fashionable today, but still, we got the classic silver paint, the optional body kit, which seems to indicate this would be in the RS200 model of the Altezza. Definitely a difference in between the IS300 Lexus that we got here, in the sense that instead of being the 2JZ GE, which was available in the Sport Cross on the Japanese market, these actually came with the 3SGE engine. So you had the basic 3SGE in the IS200, and in the RS200, the higher spec model, well, we had the Beams 3SGE. So basically a high compression, naturally aspirated, high revving version of the infamous Toyota 2-liter 4-cylinder that was also used in turbocharged applications in the Celica GT4 series and many other Caldinas and all kinds of other cars, basically. So this one, if it is an RS200, would have that high strung 230-ish horsepower 2-liter, so pretty much the equivalent of a Type R spec DC5 K20Z. So yeah, there we go. A little bit of backstory on that car, fun facts that you may or may not have already known. And yeah, the Hot Wheels rendering is great. A blade fact that has no door handles, so I hope the door poppers still work. All right, so car number 2, is, well, the infamous peg warmer of the set. It's actually number 3. Nice little Fiat 131 Abarth. So we are talking about the Stradale version, so the homologation road special to get these homologated to the rally scene, basically. These were used in the mid 70s, well, early to mid 70s. And yeah, they were running with the Mark II Escort rally cars, the Datsun 510 Safari cars, you know, things like that, basically. You know, that era of rear-wheel drive, lightweight, two-door, modified street cars. So yeah, Bart did a great job on the real car, and Hot Wheels, to their credit, did an amazing job on the 1/64th or thereabouts scale model that we see here. Bright red was definitely the most popular color. The 4-spoke bronze wheels do look good, period correct. Lots of great black detailing across the board for the sides, and the rear and front are very well done. So another Fiat for the Horde. Not a whole lot of Fiats in my collection, but they are definitely, you know, cars we just didn't really get here. So kind of fun to, you know, just expand on this European legend that we were deprived of. Next up, a car that is an import, but that we definitely were not deprived of, and definitely a happy addition to the Hot Wheels, you know, casting family. Got the VW Corrado VR6. So Corrados actually had a specific version, the earliest version of the VR6, which is actually a 2.9 liter version as opposed to the later 2.812 valves that came out in like the Golf and Jetta VR6, the third generation, as well as the Passats, obviously, starting at the generation that came out in the very, very early 90s, the famous grilleless version. So we are talking about 190 horsepower as opposed to 174 horsepower of the 2.8. And this one is kitted out with what looks to be like one of the tamer Rager body kits that were quite popular in period, if we're talking about the late 90s. So this is what the Europeans were doing, while we in North America were kitting out Civics with Wing West body kits. So there you go, a nice throwback. Nice purple color, not quite the amethyst color that the Corrados came with as part of the color palette that was offered, and my favorite Corrado color, which was more of a black with very nice metallic silverish purple reflections in it when the sunlight hit it just right. Gray 10 spokes were good. Rear's well done. We do have the non-standard wing that is installed, which is not a bad thing because these actually had active aero rear spoilers on the back that did tend to not work, which is why if you're shopping for a Corrado, you will often see or mint very high-priced ones, well, compared to other Corrados, you will see a claim rear spoiler works. Now you know what that refers to. This is a sunroof car, so not a slick top, and sunroof slightly propped, which is great. Hot Wheels is starting to do this a lot with their cars equipped with a sunroof, which I find really fantastic. I find it's a nice touch. And, you know, despite definitely preferring a stock Corrado, which one of my friends had when I was in high school. Nice green with tan interior Corrado, all stock exterior, but with about 10 grand worth of new speed add-ons, especially in the suspension and a few engine bolt-ons, exhaust, and whatnot. You know, this is definitely my first Corrado in the collection, and to get a stock-looking Corrado, you kind of have to go 1/18th, mostly, maybe 1/43rd, and they tend to be extremely prohibitive in their pricing, especially on the secondary market if you can't get one new from a distributor. And last of this wave, at least the 4 that I found out of 5, or 6 if you want to count the Chase, the NA Miata MX-5 91 with the best color combo, in my humble opinion. This would be the British Racing Green with the tan interior. Now, one thing I don't like about this cast is the fact that the roll bar, which is not standard, there's no air going through. And that's kind of sad. But besides that, 8 spokes were great. Kind of looked like the dandelion looking, not dandelion, sorry. What's the name of, either way, the flower looking wheels that came on the early ones, the 14-inch wheels. They kind of look like flowers, sunflowers maybe, I don't know. Great rear tampos, great front tampos, and I mean, this is basically going to be definitely my second favorite variation of this casting that I have in the collection. My favorite one still remaining as being the Sunburst Yellow mainline version with the front and rear tampos. And this is definitely my second favorite, as the equivalent colorway of this one was some type of exclusive in the US that we didn't get in Canada. So yeah, but overall great casting. Again, only gripe I have on this one is literally the lack of, I don't know what to call it exactly, but just that lack of finesse in regards to that rear roll bar. And the steering is definitely far from being awesome. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, it's literally looking like a barrel with an imprinted steering on it, which honestly, open top car Matchbox does do a better job at making sure the steering wheels are actually looking better than the closed top cars. Speaking of Matchbox, did manage to score the 5-pack I was most looking forward to get out of the most recent Matchbox wave of 5-packs. And of course, well, that would be the Japan Cruisers. So I really like this pack in the sense that it's one of those 5-packs that just look perfect as is. No need to swap out anything. And I'm going to keep this one sealed, honestly. It's going to be one of I think the only Matchbox 5-pack I'm going to have sealed. And I only have one Matchbox 9-pack also still sealed. So, you know, kind of cool. I have a few Matchbox, Hot Wheels 5-packs that are still sealed. Yeah, so let's start looking at the cars. So we've got all 5 of our licensed models, by the way. So the infamous 4Runner. I believe this is variation number 3 that I have in the collection, as I got rid of one since I already had 2 loose. Actually, the most recently acquired one before this one is out of a 9-pack I opened. Then we have the current gen Mazda 3 hatch in the best color combo so far for this casting. Black wheels, white paint, black interior. Looking great. Front and rear tampos on this one, as opposed to the 4Runner that only has a really cool side graphics. But at the end of the day, you know, as boxy as it is, it's so easy to detail. And I've already done on one of my older variations of this cast, I've already done some detailing. Super easy to do. Next up, we'll just tilt this over, take a peek at this Subaru Hawkeye STI, and a police, kind of like a mock Japan police livery. It does have the actual police logo on the side there, if you can see the door there. That little leaf / flower looking thing, that is actually a logo that comes up in pretty much all police Japanese cars, so that's pretty cool. Then we have the one that really got me excited about this set. We have this hot metallic pink European spec Honda Civic Type R, which is a casting I've been chasing for a while, and when this 5-pack was announced, definitely I wanted to jump on it because this was impossible to find in the Japan specific Matchbox singles that were all repeats, but you know, they still had that white Type R. Would have loved it in white because I love me a white Honda, but in pink it's really, really cool. And last but not least, we are looking at the Japanese nostalgic car liveried Hakosuka Skyline. This is a 2000 GTX. It is not a GTR. So no fender flares. This casting is definitely one of my favorites ever from Matchbox, and I do have quite a few examples of this. Actually, it'd take me less time to tell you which ones I don't have, and the ones I don't have is the one out of the Retro series, which was never sold here as it was Target exclusive, and we don't have Target in Canada, at least not anymore. And also the collector, with the equivalent of collectors, what they had at the time, that red with a very busy livery and some mesh gold wheels on rubber tires. This one unfortunately comes with the 6 spokes in black, same wheels as the Mazda 3, which is not the best choice of wheels for this cast. I do prefer it better on the Steelies, like the other 3 variations of this cast, 3 or 4 that I have. But overall, the livery is really cool, so not disappointed about that. I mean, keeping it sealed anyways. I know for a fact this one does not have front and rear tampos because of that busy livery, but you know what? I'm a firm supporter of the Japanese nostalgic car and was an active member on their forum 12 to 15 years ago, or whenever that forum was still quite active, or still remotely active anyways. So all in all, great lineup. All licensed vehicles, as you can see here, and as mentioned, we are not keeping this, we are not going to open this. That is staying sealed. However, I did drop by my local Dollarama and finally bit the bullet on them $5 5-packs, which, I mean, $5 Canadian, $3.50 US, give or take, for a 5-pack. I'll take the fantasy cast and discard it and keep the 4 other ones, no problem. So we got Car Meat. Not as awesome 5-pack as I would have hoped, but there's a couple castings in here that I definitely wanted. Now this one here, the Muscle Bound, I believe, is that it? Muscle and Blown, sorry about that, Muscle and Blown. So it's a really nice version of it, but I do have the first release of this already. So this one I'm actually going to discard. We've got the Copo Camaro, the Aristo Rat, which actually, believe it or not, is one of the castings I really wanted to get. And I know it's based on a real car. It kind of escapes me right now on what exactly it's based, but it's kind of like an Alter Chassis Beetle, almost. Maybe it is. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, just looks cool in this livery, and you know, it's the best livery so far that I've found of this cast in the wild, so definitely happy about that. Then, same applies here for the Big Air Bel Air. I do have the first release of this, but I did not have one loose. 56 Chevys, I do not have a whole lot in my collection. So, yeah, this is going to be my loose exemplar, and the color wave is beautiful. You know, this side of the premium version that came out in that premium off-road set not too long ago. And last but not least, I know this one basically, Jason at the Mustang Hunter Diecast. This is the reason why I picked up this 5-pack. Not surprised. This is a great version of this livery. This casting. Great livery on this casting. Matte white with the white 10 spokes. Nice little lack of paint here on the wheel, but hey, you know, it is what it is. For $5 for 5 cars, I ain't gonna complain. Especially that they are all exclusive color waves. So, even if I'm only keeping 4. So this one will get open right away. Get this out of the infamous pack here. So here's your tray. And we'll just conclude the video by checking these out quick, one by one. So we'll start with the Muscle and Blown. I mean, it's a nice casting, don't get me wrong. I mean, you got that 50s wraparound windscreen, which is a cool touch. Touches of Viper, Shelby Daytona Coupe. You know, almost Chevy-looking rear lights, like 6th Gen Camaro kind of, or something like that. You know, long hood, short overhang, classic Jag E-type kind of proportions. Of course, you got the big individual stacks from the hood, popping through the hood, actually, should I say. Side exhaust here, that's part of the that gray portion, which also lends itself to the bucket seats in the interior, which, by the way, these bucket seats with the harnesses look really good. So this is a great car to kind of like poach parts off, I guess, for a custom or whatnot. You know, wheels are definitely not my favorite, but you know, they're black centered, so the design that I don't like kind of disappears a little bit, and the red lip, you know, that just brings me back to the mid 2000s where the black wheels with the red lip were all the rage. Got some nice cool details popping through that front grill, I guess. Almost like fog lights with a intercooler or an oil cooler in the back. Got a lot of aero with the canards and the front air dam and side skirts and diffuser in the back. You know, it's a nice looking cast. It's just, I mean, I don't want multiples of these. I already have one, so. And I really want to keep that first version in that kind of like bluish gray, gloss gray. That is like the color that these fantasy casts that are kind of like hot rodish come out in. I mean, this one is going off to the for sale for trade pile. You know, not really worth anything, but part of a lot. I mean, it's not a bad hand-me-down to the kids. So, and I mean, it's nice enough that I think that it's worth including in that lot as opposed to surrendering it to my my lovely daughter. No offense to her, but you know, I give her a heck of a ton of cars. I actually get some flack from mom because of that. So, all right, next, let's check out the Aristorat, since it's the one that may not have the highest amount of fans here. So, it's definitely got some classic Beetle vibes in the shape of the roof. Well, the doors obviously have been altered, but I mean, it could be something else as well, you know? Either way, you've got the sun visor, you got the big wing that kind of almost looks like those little mini dirt racers. A bed in the back, a mini bed, which is kind of cool. And yeah, you got the engine in the rear too. It seems to be a 6-cylinder of some kind. Yeah. And look at this wheel setup, big fatties on the back with the double white walls, which I really like on certain casts, including this one. It looks great on hot rods or classic cars. And you've got the skinnies on the front, which are amazing wheels on the track, by the way. It's just, obviously, they don't have as much width, so it's pretty easy to bend those axles and get a lot of camber on the wheels. Huge air dam. And I love this color, too. Like this matte ox blood color. White everything for the plastic middle insert for the interior engine, front splitter, and everything like that. And the base is gray, as you saw earlier. I mean, it's a cool casting. It really looks like a outlaw type drag car. You know, I'd see this on Sick Week for sure. You know, especially with the box in the back and maybe a mini trailer or something. It looks good. No windows, which is kind of funny. For the simple fact that, well, the Big Air Bel Air also doesn't have windows. So yeah, again, based on the 56 Chevy, lifted off-road version, no windows. We're like a Baja build. You know, don't have a whole lot to say about the cast as a whole. I mean, the white plastic is a bit much to my, in my opinion. But the off-road wheels look good with the white lip that brings out that white anyways. You got that little Bel Air script, the classic Bel Air script on that rear fin. Big Chevy logo. The paint job really looks good, and you can see it's inspired by 56 because of the number on that rear fender. Very cool with the fog lights on the front, push bar or bull bar in the front, on the front bumper. You know, the open headers on the side. You know, again, really cool casting. It's a fun casting. It's a fun idea. I definitely like it. I mean, definitely at a car meet, these would gather attention. That is a definite. All right, and then we'll go to the 5th gen Copo. So obviously, well, 5th gen Copo. Very nice yellow pearlescent paint. Very nice. You know, subtle graphics. I like the fact that the grill's black inserted part from the base. Here is that base. There you go. 2013 copyright already, eh? It's been out a while. Some of these Copos do have a real drag setup with a with wheelie bars on the back. This one doesn't. But I mean, at least it's staggered, and this is the type of car that's staggered wheels, although the diameter should be the same. Still looks great. Again, red lip on those wheels. I like the design of these wheels better than the ones on the muscle and blown. Gray interior. It's got the 2 buckets, or normally a Copo, I mean, it should have only 1 bucket, full roll cage and all that jazz there. So, I mean, I don't feel like it feels like a Copo per se. Yeah, the fact there's no mirrors on this one is actually legit, because Copo Camaros don't have mirrors. Same thing for the Challenger Super Stocks and the Cobra Jet Mustangs. So yeah, nice cast. You know, no details in the back, but again, those are fairly easy to add. So maybe we'll get to that one day, and we'll finish off with this nice Mustang. Crowds beware. Yeah, it's getting old, eh? Mustang jokes, SRTs are way worse at this point. So, all right. So yeah, matte white, very cool and interesting. I did not know before I saw this 5-pack in person, or actually reviewed. Yeah, I should say reviewed. I did not know that this was matte white. I just thought it was a regular gloss white, enamel white, but no, it is not. So yeah, we've got white 10 spokes, obviously. That's great. That works well. White on white is always clean. And groovy graphics on the side, but it's not ostentatious. It actually looks pretty good. It's a drift spec car, so you've got the spoiler here that I believe is adjustable, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So you can raise the spoiler for track use, just to make sure it doesn't kind of grip into where pieces of track attach. And for display, well, you want that lip down because it just looks better. And there you go. So you got display and play. No front and rear graphics, but that's okay. And this is like the S550 Mustang, so just before the S650 that came out very recently. Overall, pretty decent pack. 4 out of 5 I'm keeping. So, you know, it's not lost. And I mean, for $5, 4 of these cars for $5, for me, that's a pretty decent deal. So on that, I will conclude the video, let you go, get back to whatever you're doing. Appreciate you staying with me this far if you did, and definitely like, share, subscribe. All the best of luck on your hunts. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.